A lot of us have suffered from anxiety for many years and don't seem to find a solution or a way out of this situation. We often feel completely hopeless. I have been there. It took me more than 5 years to finally completely overcome my anxiety issues. But now looking back, I understand why it took so damn long. We with anxiety are living under constant fear, pain and soul-crushing worries all day, every day. And we put most, if not all of our focus on containing and controlling these emotions and sensations. We try so hard to fight against our own thoughts and try to talk us out of the worries in order not to let the thoughts escalate into yet another panic attack. We search up symptoms, read and listen to other people's stories, write in forums and visit doctors just to find some kind of reassurance and eventually some relief. It feels great, right? I know that feeling. You've been worried for days, weeks or even months, and then somehow you found someone on the internet who has experienced the same exact thing and it turned out to be just anxiety for him. Or you waited for that doctor's appointment for ages and now he has given you that all clear. It feels great, I know. I can remember going out of the doctor's office so many times with a big fat smile on my face, rushing home just to tell my family that everything I was worried about turned out to be a false alarm, and it was really just anxiety, just like everyone has told me. I even had these moments in which I would laugh about myself and wonder how I could have been so silly. I could even feel euphoric. And that's just the thing, guys. I really believe that a lot of us are way too focused on that short-term relief. It can even become a real addiction. These few short moments in which we feel free, happy and see hope. We crave them. And so we keep on digging and researching until we get the sense of relief again. The problem with this is that the underlying anxiety issue isn't properly dealt with. It's still in full control of you. That is why we will always return to our old worrisome thoughts with all its physical sensations. And round it goes. This kind of behavior doesn't really bring us any further. We are exactly the same person we were before that doctor's appointment that we hoped would finally bring full clarity over our situation and end our worries. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in any of my previous videos, but I always like to think of an anxiety disorder as your mind trying to distract you from something that is truly bothering you. The anxiety itself is often a coping mechanism. You'd rather be mentally and physically fully occupied by the symptoms and the dark thoughts than to face the real issues you have. And that is why you've probably come across the term root cause for your anxiety. And that root cause is in most cases not so easy to identify, or maybe it is even just too obvious and you quickly discard it as the reason. Does that make any sense? I can honestly tell you that I myself never really bought into the idea of having some kind of deep, hidden root cause for my anxiety. I didn't see it, I didn't understand it. I always saw myself as this happy, well-rounded and chilled person. But obviously I wasn't, or how else would I have ended up in this hyper-stressed state? How else did I end up being basically a huge bundle of tension, stress and panic? There had to be something bothering me deep inside. And if you are someone who has suffered from anxiety for some time now, I'm sure that you have experienced these intense bouts of existential fears and perhaps even episodes of depression. Guys, these dark thoughts, don't ignore them. You really have to deal with them, write them down, organize those confusing thoughts, and try to make sense out of them. Even if these thoughts are blown out of proportion by your stress, I believe that they are a reflection of how you feel and what you worry about on a perhaps subconscious level. For me, I hated my job. I had this inner need to impress other people, which I knew was absolutely ridiculous. I just wasn't myself. And probably the most significant one was that I feared I was wasting my life away. Those are just a few things that popped up in my mind over and over again. It wasn't until I have properly worked and concentrated on these aspects of my life that I've noticed significant, long-lasting improvement. This isn't something that will bring you quick, instant relief, but it will eventually turn into true, lasting recovery. There has to be that point in your life in which you give up the search for any quick fix or solution. I can assure you that there won't be any doctor's appointment, anyone else's experience that you can read or hear or whatever, which will make your anxiety go away. It's not going to happen. If you want to recover, you must deal with your own individual issues, lower your own stress levels by implementing stress coping mechanisms, and work on your own life and build it the way you want it to be. There is nothing or no one that can help you recover if you do not put in the work yourself. Don't rely on external sources for these short bursts of relief, but really work on your recovery. No matter if you're fatigued and demotivated, you will have to get that ball rolling and begin growing as a person. It's going to be the only way you will find long-lasting recovery. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you're new here and want to see more anxiety-related content just like this one, consider subscribing.